let's talk about stress, specifically about stress management. Everyone deals with stress. Athletes deal with stress. People at work deal with stress. Moms and dads deal with stress. Students in college deal with stress. It affects all of us. Stress management is how we handle it. It's how we perceive it and how we get through it. Now, the number one common misperception about stress is that it's bad. You often hear people say that stress is a bad thing. This witch right here, for example, would scare someone and they would think that was a bad thing. It might be, but it could depend on your perception. Maybe being scared would make you do a fight or flight response, and that could be a good thing. You could be safe. So what exactly is stress? It's a substantial imbalance between what we believe is demanded of us and what we perceive our capabilities are for meeting that demand. Stress is about perception. Now, Christmas could be stressful, but to some it's not. It's perception. Richard Lazarus, a stress guru, says that athletes weigh 3 types of information in appraising a potentially stressful situation: competitive demand, personal control, and coping strategies. Competitive demand involves athletes' evaluation of how a demanding situation will affect their ability. Personal control refers to athletes' perception of how well they can manage competitive demands. Now, this happens in the military. How well can they handle everyday stress? Stress management must be taken seriously. Here we see a guy meditating. He's taking the time to breathe, to calm down, to do better by taking a moment. Athletes need to take that moment. They need to take a moment for stress management. There's also problem management. It's a proactive approach that reduces stress. Here we see a big city. Big cities can be very chaotic and crazy. But it's about our perception. If we can take the time to calm and be calm within ourselves, we can handle it. Emotion management must be dealt with every day. Being at the office, being at home, you need to take the time to deal with your emotions, to face them, to breathe, to think about how you feel and why you feel that way. Developing an athlete's stress in management skills is so essential. Coaches need to take the time to work with their athletes on this specific thing. We start with different phases, one being the education phase. Now we see a student here on the farm. He's learning, he's developing. They must learn how to deal with stress, what it is, how it can be dealt with, how to manage it. And each athlete must come up with their own plan. Common stress symptoms are physiological, psychological, and behavioral. A physiological response, for example, would be an increased heart rate. Now, as we stated before, that does not have to be a bad thing. That can actually help an athlete perform better. But a psychological response like worry may not help an athlete at all. The acquisition phase focuses on 3 objectives: helping athletes develop basic emotion management, have them combine those skills, and help them master problem-solving skills. Take time to relax, to assess the situation. And now we have the implementation phase. Here we see 2 basketball players. It's time for integration coping response, their own personalized plan, their ICR. Take the time to make that plan and to carry it out. And it can make all the difference in your abilities.
Created using Powtoon.